Okay. So for those who would like to speak later during Q&A, you would have seen a pop-up window come onto your screen right now. In order for you to share or speak later in the webinar during Q&A, you're going to have to hit that OK button. And then when called upon later, you can hit unmute. That will give you the opportunity to ask your questions once we get to that part of the webinar today. Okay, so today we have Ann Osborne. She's going to be presenting on CalABLE, and we're really thankful for you to spend your time. I know it's an evening and you're probably already off of work, so thank you for spending some time with our community here, and we're looking forward to this webinar. So without further ado, Ann, I'd like to give you the floor, and I'll be on the background just kind of troubleshooting, okay?
Thank you, Joseph. Yes, I do, again, apologize. I was catching up on emails and the time got away from me. So thank you again, everyone, for being here. As Joseph introduced me, I am Ann Osborne, the Deputy Executive Director here at CalABLE. I am a female, middle-aged female with glasses, and I'm wearing a blue and white striped long sleeve shirt. So I know people like to have those descriptions. So that's what I look like. We're going to go ahead and begin this webinar. What I'm going to play for you, this is a video that is of our 8 ambassadors. They're all going to be sharing their stories with you. This is just a clip. They each have their own individual little story that they have on our YouTube channel. So this is our compilation video. I do want to share this with you because I think it really paints the picture of how CalABLE works for each individual.
CalABLE has changed my life by making me an investor.
CalABLE has changed my life by giving me freedom, by giving me peace of mind,
by protecting my son's financial future,
which is very life-changing.
Hello, I'm California State Treasurer Fiona Ma. I'm proud to serve as the board chair for the CalABLE program. CalABLE is helping thousands of Californians living with disabilities to save for their futures and achieve a better quality of life. It's not just a savings account. It's a way to invest in yourself and your future without the risk of losing benefits. Today, I'm honored to introduce you to a group of people who truly embody this program's mission, our CalABLE ambassadors. These are real people with life-changing experiences. We hope their stories can help you see what is possible with a CalABLE account. One of my priorities as state treasurer is to help all Californians achieve a new level of financial literacy. CalABLE is a key element in supporting that goal for individuals with disabilities and in helping us strive toward financial equity. Our ambassadors are helping us pave the way, and I'm so proud of this amazing group. We hope our ambassadors' stories and experiences will inspire you to open your own CalABLE account or tell a loved one about CalABLE. We would love to welcome you to our community. We are CalABLE.
My name is Miguel. I'm an attorney.
I am Curtis. I'm 42 years old. I am a homeowner.
I am a high school senior. I use text-to-speech software and an iPad to communicate.
I have Tourette's, ADHD. I was a passenger in a car accident, and I'm in a wheelchair now.
I'm slowly losing my vision, but I am legally blind.
I am a student at Menlo College in the master's program. I had a motor vehicle accident. I was paralyzed from the chest down and lost vision in my left eye.
Henry is on the autism spectrum. He also has cerebral palsy. The thing about Henry, he is a lovely boy.
Allison and I grew up in Columbus, Georgia. When Allison was 10 years old,
She was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia.
My son has autism, and he's a great, happy little kid.
Being disabled, I've realized, is very expensive.
In order to afford the support staff, subsidies, and insurance, I would have to earn well into a six-figure income.
Because I am disabled, I need a care assistant, do certain things for me.
I'm a lawyer by trade, so I research things when I don't know the answer to something. And I found CalABLE.
CalABLE, which I'd never heard of before as a parent. I was like, this is the best thing since sliced bread for disabled kids.
Henry is pretty hard on technology, and this technology is kind of expensive, so CalABLE gives an opportunity to buy these kind of things.
I use my CalABLE account currently primarily as a savings account at this moment.
It's a great savings vehicle, an investment vehicle that my child can access immediately.
I can save for long term for my retirement. I use my CalABLE account to save and to be gifted money.
And it took 15 minutes or less to set it up.
CalABLE has given me that tool to be able to invest in my future, just like everyone else.
The best feature is the self-determination that you are in charge of your own account.
I thought the best feature was being able to have a place to keep a nest egg of money beyond the $2,000 limit for eligibility for the SSI income.
It allowed me to get an introduction to investing for my future while actually doing it.
With CalABLE, I can save money without worrying I will lose my medical insurance or other benefits.
CalABLE gave me the ability to roll over a college fund that was created over into the ABLE account at CalABLE that then provided additional benefits.
And I also save for like short term, like grocery shopping and all that. And, like if I need long term care.
There are also, with the ABLE program, parameters around specific things you can use the money for, and it's not on me to be, the bad guy, the bossy sister.
With my CalABLE account, I was able to buy my own wheelchair.
I've been able to purchase an herb growing machine.
The eligible expenses, those are anything that would make Henry's life better.
The best feature for CalABLE for us has been that it had the feature of a debit card, which was going to make it much easier for Allison to use her money, and that I could deposit money, she could use it.
I'm able to start investing and start saving my own money without having to check in or ask for permission. I'm in charge of my own funds and savings.
Oftentimes we have to hand over autonomy and self-determination in exchange for resources or assistance. And this is one of the few vehicles or resources that I've encountered where that compromise doesn't have to be made.
With CalABLE, I've been able to achieve financial peace of mind.
CalABLE has helped me to provide for our grandchild for today and for the future.
CalABLE has helped me stay independent.
If you're eligible, you should be doing this today.
Hi, I'm Ann Osborne, Deputy Executive Director of CalABLE. We are thrilled to have this new class of ambassadors supporting CalABLE and helping others learn about its life-changing benefits. You can use your CalABLE account to pay for a variety of needs and essentials and save for your dreams without risking your benefits. The goal is to help you achieve a better quality of life. We hope you feel empowered to take the next steps in your financial journey by opening an account, and our team is here to help you. We are CalABLE.
We are CalABLE.
We are CalABLE.
Nosotros somos CalABLE.
We are CalABLE.
Okay, so I hope everyone enjoyed that video. I will go through this quickly, Joseph, so we can have some time for Q&A. I believe our time ends at 7. Is that correct, Joseph? Okay. So everyone with a disability should know about CalABLE. We, I think, all heard about that through our video that I just played and shared with everyone. What is CalABLE? CalABLE is a tax advantage savings and investment program designed to help people with disabilities achieve their financial dreams. And I think with this video, you can see that all of us can achieve our dreams as long as we, use our accounts the way they're designed to be used. A little history about CalABLE. We are part of what is called an Achieving a Better Life Experience Act. This was a federal law that passed in 2014. And what this law really allows is for each state to have their own individual ABLE program, and that is why we have CalABLE. I think, why do we need CalABLE? I think that the answer was pretty well answered in the video. We do know that it's expensive to live your life with a disability. It's been documented that it's over 29% cost people more, 29% more to live their life with a disability than somebody who does not. So that is quite substantial. And that is what's so nice about our program. One of the nice things is if you are receiving SSI, if you have a CalABLE account, that does not count as a resource. If you are on SSI, you are limited to that $2,000 resource cap. But anything you put in your CalABLE account does not impact that $2,000 resource. So that is really a great benefit if you are on benefits. With that in mind, you can actually save up to $100,000 in a CalABLE account, and it will not impact your benefits. Once you reach that amount, that is when you would need to do what we would call a spend down to keep that account balance below $100,000. CalABLE is administered by the state of California, and it's chaired by the state treasurer, as you heard her earlier in the video. One nice thing, when we did this video, we were actually Lighthouse of the Blind in San Francisco, so we were really thankful that they allowed us to use their venue. So we do appreciate them helping us there. Right now, CalABLE has over 150 million in assets under management, and we have over 12,000 people that have CalABLE accounts. The other thing is, if your disability occurred before your age 26, you can open a CalABLE account. We're going to cover these top questions here. The first one is, who is eligible? How much money can I save? What do I spend my money on? How do I open an account? How do I maximize my CalABLE account, and why choose CalABLE? So the first question is, who is eligible? As I mentioned earlier, as long as your disability occurred before age 26, you can open an account. If you are currently receiving SSI or SSDI, you are automatically eligible to open a CalABLE account. In 2026, that age is actually going to increase to age 46. So we're certainly excited about that and the opportunity for more people to open a CalABLE account. If you are not receiving SSI or SSDI, as long as your disability is in the Social Security Administration, they have a list of compassionate allowances or a blue book listing. As long as your disability is in that list, you are eligible to open a CalABLE account. All we ask is that you have a letter from a physician stating that your disability occurred before age 26. CalABLE does not require you to turn that letter in, although we do recommend you keep it. As I mentioned, this CalABLE, part of CalABLE, that is part of a federal law that was signed in 2014. So if your account was to be reviewed, it would not be reviewed from CalABLE. It would be reviewed from somebody from the Internal Revenue Service. So that is why we recommend that you keep a letter if you're going to self-certify that your disability began before age 26. How much can I save? Currently in 2024, you can save up to $18,000 in this calendar year. We do anticipate that may go up next year. We have seen this go up each year since I've been with CalABLE. So I do anticipate this will probably bump up next year. That $100,000 cap is going to still be there. They have not changed that. So if you are receiving benefits, once you reach $100,000, if you want to maintain your benefits, you would need to do a spend down. The most you can contribute to a CalABLE account is $529,000. At that point, you would not be able to add any additional money to the account. It could continue to grow. If you were to do a spend down, then you could add money back into the account, but once you put in $529,000, you're unable to add any additional funds. We do keep track of this. CalABLE does keep track of how your contributions. So if you have put $17,000 into the account this year, you're going to get a little notice saying, hey, you're getting close. And now those triggers happen at these other levels too. So if you're getting close to that $100,000, you're going to receive a note from us letting us know that you're getting close to those limits. So just want to let you know that we do give you those reminders so you can't go over those contributions. I'm going to talk a little bit about Able to Work, and this is a program that is currently another way for people to add additional funds to their account. If you are working and your employer does not have a retirement plan, you can actually add up to $14,580 to your account, and you would do this through the Able to Work portal. So when you open your account, you have two ways you can add money into your account. That $18,000 is considered a general contribution, so that can come from family, friends, what other sources you would like to put in, it can come in that way. If you're working, you would go through the Able to Work and you would select that is the source of funds, how those funds are coming in, and then you could contribute up to $14,580. So if you were to combine both of those ways to make your contributions, you could potentially save up to $32,000 in this year of 2024. So that is a substantial amount. If you did that within almost 3 years, you'd be close to that maximum $100,000 if you were receiving SSI. So these accounts can grow quickly. It just depends how you're going to put the money in. What can I spend my money on? This is always the best category. And it really is, what is that? How are you going to spend it? Is that expense going to help to improve your health, your independence, or your quality of life? If you can answer yes to one of those questions, then it's considered an eligible expense. So on our screen, I do have some categories here, and these are just categories. Anything related to education, housing, transportation, employment training and support. We have some assistive technology and related services, personal support services, health prevention and wellness, funeral and burial, legal fees, expenses for ABLE account oversight and monitoring, financial management and administrative services, and my favorite is the and more. And that's where everyone asks me questions. Well, what does that mean? It means food. It could be entertainment. It could be travel. It could be, and I heard this one, somebody asked me, I bought a humidifier for my daughter. So it could be anything, as long as that expense is related to your health, your independence, or your quality of life. That is an eligible expense. I think the easiest way to answer this question is what wouldn't be an eligible expense, and that would be anything related to gift giving, gambling, or anything illegal. So if you were to use your CalABLE account on any of those 3 items, those would be considered a non-qualified expense, and you would have to pay additional taxes on those. So if you're not using it on any of those 3 items, it's pretty much an eligible expense. I will mention in September, we are going to have a webinar. We do a monthly webinar series, and that webinar is actually going to be on eligible qualified disability expenses, and that's going to be on September 11th. If you are on our mailing list, we always send this out on our listserv, but we also on our social media platforms always share the information. So this is a really good webinar for you to attend. If you're still wondering what can I spend my money on, this really covers it. So how do I open an account? I'm going to play this quick little video for you.
You can open an account online in about 20 minutes. It's so easy. You will need a few pieces of information to get started. Your email, your birthday, a social security number or a tax identification number, and contact details. And if you're an authorized legal representative, you'll need the same information as the beneficiaries plus your work status. Here's how quick the process is. Visit calable.ca.gov and click Open an Account. Click to begin your enrollment. And start your account with just a $25 contribution. And if you need help, there are people ready to walk you through it. Call 833-CalABLE, 833-225-2253.
Okay. All right. So that is how you open an account. Just a few other things I'll cover in addition to that video. The most important thing is you can only have one CalABLE account or an ABLE account. So if you live in the state of California, you decide to move to another state, you can actually take that CalABLE account with you. But if you like the benefits of living in a different state, there may be something that you decided that you would rather have an ABLE account in that particular state, then you would want to do a rollover. So you would roll over that your CalABLE account into a different ABLE account. So you would still just have one ABLE account. What you couldn't do is have a ABLE account in one state and keep your CalABLE account. So that is how the law was written. So you can only have one ABLE account. The other thing is a person who with a disability is the owner of the account, the beneficiary of the funds. So if you are not, if somebody is managing it on your behalf, they are considered what we call an authorized legal representative. They are just managing your funds. It's still your account, but they're just assisting you with the management of that account. Who could be an authorized legal representative? It would be somebody that would have power of attorney. They could be a legal guardian or conservator. They could be a spouse. They could be a parent. We had several parents speaking. We had a sibling who was managing her sister's account. We had a grandparent who was managing his grandson's account. It could also be a representative payee. So if you are working with the regional center and you have a rep payee, they could actually open the account for you. And then the last one is you can also delegate somebody to open your account on your behalf. So this is the hierarchy from Social Security. So this is how it would fall. So just to let you know that there are many different ways that an authorized legal representative could open these accounts and represent you. But the main thing is they are the ones managing the account. You still are the owner of this account. We talked about the website, the calable.ca.gov, and that's really how you open these accounts. All of the accounts are open online. So if you do need additional assistance, we do recommend that you do contact our call center at the 833 CalABLE phone number, 833-225-2253. And it's a very easy process, as you heard in the video. The one thing I would recommend that if you are going to open your account, we do have a investment option tab that I would recommend that you would want to review some of those investment options before you open your account. So when you start the account, the application process, you would already have that information available and you could just continue through the application process. How do I maximize my CalABLE account? We talked about how you can spend your money with those qualified expenses, but there's still two other ways to maximize it. You can save your money, you can have some long-term goals, and you can also grow the money. So there are several different ways you can contribute to this account. You can set up what we call reoccurring contributions, where you can link it to your regular checking account, and you could just have funds automatically transferred into your CalABLE account. That could be a reoccurring contribution. You could have a family member who always puts money in your account. They could, set up their own limits. If you are receiving SSI, you can actually have them do a direct deposit into your account. It is going to be for the full amount. You can't say, I want, X amount in and X in my savings account or my checking account. If you do that, Social Security can only put the full amount in your CalABLE account. You can still do that transfer. You can transfer money out of the CalABLE account into your checking account, but they could just directly put it in there. If you're working, you can have your employer do direct deposit. And the last way is you can send a check into CalABLE. Talking about that reoccurring deposit, you can also set up what we call an e-gift, and that is done through the portal where you would go in when you're establishing your CalABLE account. You can set up a gifting page, and what that allows you to do is that creates a link that you can share that with your family and friends, and they can deposit money anytime in your account. So if you were saving for a special goal, like a new laptop or something, or a tablet, and that was your goal, and you wanted people to help you purchase that item, you could share that link, and then they could and then you could purchase the item. So we've had quite a few people that have set up these goals. Raymond, who was our master's student, he actually, his goal was to purchase that rowing machine, and so that's that was one of the ways he was able to purchase it, was going through that e-gifting portal. How to invest your money. We do have our portfolios are professionally managed. The nice thing about these portfolios, they do grow tax-free, and they are managed by either Fidelity, Charles Schwab, and Vanguard. So these are mutual funds that are pooled together in these different portfolios. I am going to share two short videos with you. The first one talks about risk and return. So I'm going to share this real quick.
Places or multiple places.
Oops.
Places or multiple places. But first,
we'll
let's
go-
just talk about savings and investing and how financial risk that you're willing to take correlates to the potential return. As you can see on the far left-hand side with cash, there's very little risk that you're taking when you're saving in a cash option. Therefore, the potential return is not as potentially high as some of the other options. And as you step to the right with bonds, it might be a slightly higher financial risk and therefore a slightly higher potential return. And then therefore also with stocks and mutual funds on the right. What you're going to need to do is make a decision on where you want to save your money. And as mentioned before, it can be in one spot or it can be in multiple spots. This really depends on your willingness to take financial risk, but also how long you want that money to sit in there before you need to utilize it. Again, we're going to go into more detail in a separate video, but if you run into any issues and you have any questions on the program itself, you can call our CalABLE Service Center. We're not able to give you financial advice, but we can answer any questions you might have on the program. Please take a moment to review this important disclosure, and thank you for spending some time with us this morning.
And then the next video I'm going to share talks about the different investment portfolios that we have. So I just want to share that with you as well.
Hello. Hello and welcome to CalABLE. As you know, ABLE accounts are a great way to save money without accounting against the asset limits for the benefits that you utilize on a regular basis. Today, we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about the different savings and investing options that we have within CalABLE. But first, it's important to know that savings and investing goals, they're different for each person. So you're going to have to make a decision for yourself where the right place or the right places is for you to save your money. Choosing the right investment option depends on a few different things. First, it depends on whether you're saving for the short term. This might be an item that you want to purchase in the next year or two, or maybe you're saving for the long term. This might be an item you want to purchase many years down the road. The second thing you need to keep in mind is it depends on the financial risk that you're willing to take with the money. Here are a few different savings goals. These are just examples. If you're saving your money for something that you want to buy 5 or more years in the future, you may want to choose one of the investment options within CalABLE. If you're saving your money for something you want to buy in a year or two, something more short term, you may want to choose the FDIC insured cash option. Or maybe you're saving for the short term and the long term. In this case, you might want to save in different places. Maybe you want to save in the FDIC insured cash option for the shorter term and one of the investment options for the longer term. These are all options available to you. Let's take a closer look at the 8 different savings and investing options inside CalABLE. As you can see from this chart, each savings or investing option is made up of a different mix of stocks, bonds, money market securities, and FDIC insured custodial account. Each one of these options carries a slightly different potential financial risk, and therefore a slightly different potential financial return. At the very top, we see the FDIC insured option. This is very similar to a savings account that you have at your bank or your credit union. This is insured by the Federal Deposit Insurance Commission and is a very secure option. As you step down this list, you start to take on slightly higher financial risk and, as I mentioned before, slightly higher potential return on those investments. Shorter term savings might fit better in the upper section, while longer term savings might fit better in the lower section. This is a choice you will need to make for yourself. Here we'll see a little bit more information about the underlying stocks, bonds, and money market securities that make up each of the savings and investment options. As you can see from this list, each option is made up of a different percentage of a Fidelity, Schwab, and Vanguard funds. All of this information is on the CalABLE website for you to look into more detail. Now, although the historical performance of funds does not predict the future financial return, you can also find this information on the CalABLE website for more information. Again, we can't give you financial advice, but we are here if you have any questions on the program. If you have questions, please reach us at CalABLE Service Center. The phone number is listed here. We're open from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, and we're happy to help. And if you don't mind, spend a moment reviewing the disclosure listed on this slide. Thank you so much for your time today.
So I will just go over these portfolios real quickly. I know we talked about them in the video, but we do have the FDIC insured portfolio. Again, that is that insured option that we are probably very familiar with. The next one we have is what we call our income portfolio, and that is 80% bonds, and then it's a 20% money market security portfolio. Our conservative portfolio is 20% stocks, 80% bonds. Our income and growth portfolio is 40% stocks, 60% bonds. Our balanced portfolio is 50% stocks and 50% bonds. Then we go into our conservative growth portfolio, which is 60% stocks and 40% bonds. Our moderate growth portfolio is 80% stocks and 20% bonds, and our growth portfolio is 100% stocks. So those are different investment portfolios. It really is determined on your amount of financial risk you want to take. As we also mentioned, you can divide these up. So really the key is, as long as that adds up to 100%, you can do 20% in one and 50% in another and 30% in another. So it really depends on how you foresee your financial future. The other nice thing about these is you can actually change these options twice a year. So if you decide on one option and you're just not happy with the way that may be performing, you can always change it. So I would encourage you to review these different options before you begin the application process, because through the application process, you're going to be asked to select what investment portfolio options you would like to have your money in. And so it's we do see people kind of forget about that, and then they're like, oh, I don't know what I want. So really encourage you to just take a moment and review these options, so when you do the application, it can go quickly for you. Last thing I'm going to bring up here is there are some fees to the account. We have what we call an account maintenance fee, and that is a $30 annual account maintenance fee. So the example here that I'm going to share with you is if you had $3,000 in your account. If you would have that account maintenance fee of $30, there would be an additional fee, which is considered our state administrative fee, and that's only with the FDIC insurance option. You would have just those two fees: the account maintenance fee and the state administrative fee. Annual amount would be $38.40, and that would be divided into 4 separate payments. In the investment portfolio, you're still going to have that $30 account maintenance fee. Pardon me. There are 2 additional fees attached to that. There is an underlying investment fee, and that is based on whichever portfolio you select. And there, each of those portfolios have a different growth rate. So that's just tied to the portfolio. There is a program maintenance fee, and then there's a state administrative fee. So if you had $3,000 in your account, your annual fee with the investment portfolio could range between $42 and $46. Again, if you had $3,000, you're looking at a quarterly fee of probably somewhere between $9 and $12 every quarter. This could go up if you have less money. If you have less money, it's going to go down. If you have more money, it would increase. So just to let you know that those are the fees. We do have a prepaid card, and that's really what that means. It's a prepaid card. You would actually put money on this card. It's very similar to a Visa card. You can use it anywhere. The only thing you would not be able to do is withdraw cash from your account with that. But it's a way that you can access your money, but you wouldn't have full access to all the money in your account. So let's say you wanted to put yourself on a budget. Let's say you only wanted to spend $50 a month on out of your account. This would be a great way to ensure that you would only spend that $50. You could put it on that prepaid card, and then you would, once that money's gone for the month, then you can download it, more money, let's say the next month. So it's a nice way to have some money, but also not touch the full account. I think we touched on why we want to choose CalABLE. I'm certain, our ambassadors really have shared their stories of why they have CalABLE. There are just so many different benefits that come with having the account. If you're on SSI, your benefits are protected. The money grows tax-free. And you can spend it again on anything that's related to your health, independence, or quality of life. So it really gives you a lot of opportunities. We've talked about our call center. Again, that phone number is 833 CalABLE or 833-225-2253. And they are open Monday through Friday between 6 and 5, 6 a.m. and 5 p.m. We are on social media. So if you access our YouTube channel, we have all these different recordings. We have a recording with Medi-Cal. We have a recording with SSI. We have a recording about Special Needs Trust, where you're going to be doing a new recording on qualified disability expenses next month. So there is a extensive library of different resources that we have available to you on our YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram, X. We are always sharing just information about the program, anything new that we would want to update you on. We certainly do. I will let you know that we do have a promotion going on right now. And that is, if you do open a CalABLE account between now and the end of the month, if you open it with that $25, we are going to put an additional $50 into your account. It's available to the first 100 people that open their account between now and the end of the month. So if you want to take advantage of that, you certainly have that opportunity. So just let you know that we do have that available. I am right at time, so I'm going to end my presentation. I do have time if people have additional questions they would like to ask me, Joseph. I certainly can stay on if people have any questions in the chat.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for all of this great information. We have been cultivating questions from the chat. I've also been receiving emails of questions, and I like to also welcome folks to raise their hands to ask questions verbally. I do have the questions that I have been cultivating. So I'll start with two of them, and feel free, friends on the call, If you'd like to raise your hand, I will call on your name so that you could ask Anne a question. I want to remind everyone that this session is also being recorded. So if there's information that you may have missed, you will be provided this information. Additionally, there is the PowerPoint slide that Anne has shared with us in her presentation that will also be shared with you for future references as well. So, Anne, one of the first questions that I have here is, if your disability started in 2020 and you were 46 then, will you be eligible for CalABLE in 2026?
Yes, yes, it has, the disability has to occur before age 46. So it doesn't matter. Yeah, in 2026, we're gonna allow you to open your CalABLE account. So you just have 18 months to wait, and then you can open your account in 2026.
Excellent. Thank you for that. A question in the chat from Daisy is it possible to decide, excuse me, let me, 1 second, lost it. Is it possible to decide how much of your money you want to invest? Like if you have 3,000, but you only want to invest 200, is that allowed?
Yeah, yeah. So if you have, let's say you have $3,000, and let's say you put 280 of 2,800 in the FDIC insured portfolio, and then you take that other 200, you can divide, select whichever portfolio you want. You could do conservative, you could do the growth. It's really up to the individual. We actually see a lot of people starting off with FDIC insured because they may not have a lot of money, so they may start to accumulate growth. And then once they're comfortable with a certain amount of money in their account, then they may decide, I want to keep this much always in my savings, but I've got a little extra and I want to invest that. And there's no minimum on what you can invest. So let's say you had 500, that's your minimum. And let's say you get an extra $10, then you could put that in a different investment account. So it's really up to the individual. We do have this new feature, and it's not in my slide presentation, but I'll go ahead and mention it. We have what we call weather boosters, and it's actually kind of a fun little tool. When you open your account, you can sign up for the weather boosters, and basically it's on the rain. So if there's like a forecast of 50% chance of rain, you can say anytime it rains, I want to put $5 in my CalABLE account, and it will automatically just put $5 in your account. So it's kind of one of those things, if you don't know about it or you don't see it all the time, it's kind of like if you have money automatically taken out of your check to put in an account, if you don't know it's there, then you don't end up spending it. So it's kind of a nice little, I call it the weather booster, but it's kind of that rainy day fund. It's based on the rain. So that's kind of a nice little feature that you might forget about. And at the end of the year, you go, wow, I didn't realize I had so much money in my account. It's because it was just kind of happening behind the scenes.
Thank you for that response. Thank you for your question, Daisy. We're going to open up to some of the guests here to share your questions verbally. We're going to go with Luz first and then Keith Kabbalah next. Go ahead, Luz, please unmute.
Hi, thank you. I have a couple of questions. One is, I work with parents with children with disabilities, learning disabilities. Are those included as well? Any type of learning disability, or is it specific?
As long as that learning disability is in that Social Security Administration list of compassionate allowances or the Blue Book listing, I would say yes. I know autism is considered, a disability, so definitely yes.
Second question, if that's okay. So what if an adult wasn't diagnosed with, let's say, ADHD past 26, but clearly was just not, the diagnosis was missed? Would that
Mhm.
still qualify?
Yes, it really is, when did that diagnosis occur? You know, when did that disability occur?
Got
And
it.
we know ADHD, you know, people can maybe go through their lives for quite a long time and it may not impact them, but let's say they are 40 years old and all of a sudden now that ADHD is now becoming a challenge for them, right? They're having maybe some different issues that they didn't have younger. And so because we know that that occurred when they were young, yes, they are definitely eligible to open an account. It's really based on when did that, you know, disability occur.
Got it. And my final question. So I know you talked about SSI and the $100,000 and, you know, spending it down. Is that similar to Medi-Cal? And then also, I know I saw a question somewhere that said, how does it differ for the SSDI?
So SSDI does not have the $2,000 resource limit.
Right.
So, you know, if you're on SSDI, you can have as much money in your bank account as you want. It is only tied to SSI. For Medi-Cal, there is no with Medi-Cal, and we've been told this through Medi-Cal. Medi-Cal sees that you have a CalABLE account, they do not count it as a resource. They just disregard it. So there is not a limit as far as how much money you can have with Medi-Cal in regards to CalABLE. Now, there may be some other things that I'm not aware of. But again, we did do a webinar with Medi-Cal and they answered a lot of those different questions. So I would encourage you to go back and look at that YouTube video. That was back in April of this year.
Okay, thank you. I'll get back to
Mhm.
my more questions.
All right, excellent. Thank you,
No
Liz, for
worries.
questions.
Great
Keith
question.
Kabbalah, you have a question. We're gonna go Keith Kabbalah, we're gonna go Julian, and then following Julian, we're gonna go Wendy. Go ahead, Keith.
Yes, my name is Keith Kabbalah, and I have low vision. I also have autism. I was working before, and I'm planning to return to work tomorrow again, hopefully. Will I still be able to open up an ABLE account if I decide to open one up?
Sure. Yes, you have low vision. That's a definite, you know, that's considered a disability, and your autism, yeah. Your autism probably occurred when you were a child, so that probably occurred before age 26, so you're certainly eligible.
And yeah, okay, thank you. And the second question is, do you have a contact? Do you have any contact information, or if possible, can you share it in the chat? Because I'd like to touch base with you, talk to you some more, if possible.
As far as how to open the account, you can reach out to our call center, the CalABLE, 833-225-2253. You want me to write that in the chat?
We'll provide that
Yes,
information
okay.
Okay.
to everyone. So, you know, all of this contact information, how to sign up, all of that, Keith, will be sent to you via email. So just rest assured, all the information that is being shared to you will be sent to you in a nice, beautiful email. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you.
We're
Thanks.
gonna go Julian, Wendy, and then Linda B. Julian, please unmute.
All right, good evening, and thank you very much for coming and talking to us and giving this wonderful and informative presentation. A couple of questions I had regarding how you put money in there and how you take money out for things. So that's what I'm curious is what are the ways to get money in there besides what was mentioned, you know, people gifting or things like that? Like how would I myself, what are my options for getting money into the CalABLE account? And also with the CalABLE account money, like if I, you know, most of the stuff I buy is on credit cards. I'm not a big fan of using debit card or prepaid cards. So I like using regular credit cards where I feel I have more protection. If that number falls into the wrong hands, no money ever leaves my account. So I prefer to pay by credit card. So how would I use money from the CalABLE account to pay for, say, a piece of assistive technology that I bought with a credit card?
So what you would probably want to do, and I personally don't have a CalABLE account, but I I would probably, the way I would probably use my money from my CalABLE account I would transfer that money into your regular checking account, however you pay your bills. And then I would pay your bills with that money. So I would just do a direct transfer. You can link the CalABLE account to your checking account, and you can transfer money back and forth. So that would probably be the easiest way to do that. If you know that you're going to have an assistive the nice thing with the prepaid card is if you know it's going to be, well, let's just say $200. It's probably more than that, but you could then take the money out of it. You could transfer your money from the CalABLE account to that prepaid card, and you could use that just like a credit card. So those would be the two ways to access your money quickly.
Okay, so there is no way to set up like a direct connection between the CalABLE and the credit card issuer. So, and then as far as getting money in, basically the most viable option is to link the checking account. And I think you mentioned something about sending a check. So are those basically the two ways that the primary ways that one puts money in there?
Yeah, it would be either sending a check or linking them, or if you had SSI, you could actually have that directly deposited into your CalABLE account.
All right, thanks. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Julian, for your question. Keith, I know you still have your hand raised. Can you mind lowering it? We're going to go to Wendy, then we're going to go to Linda B. Then we also have some questions that were sent to us. So hopefully we can get to those as well. Wendy, feel free to unmute yourself.
Well, thank you so much. I got hope when I heard not this caller, but the caller before, when she was asking about, when she was 46, and you said, yeah, you'll still have, you can qualify, in the next 16 or 18 months. So then I was thinking, oh, wait a minute. I had a diagnosis before I was 46. So that would count, right? We don't have to wait till when my SSI was approved. We go by the diagnosis date.
Right. So if your diagnosis was before you were age 26, then you could do it.
No, I know I have to wait till the 46 the increase.
Right, but so you can open your CalABLE account at any age. It's just when was the disability diagnosed. So if you're 46 now, but your disability was diagnosed at 2, you could open it now. It's just when was that diagnosis? When did that occur?
Yeah, but I have to wait till till the law is updated, right? For 46-year-old.
No. What I'm saying is, let's say you're 46 now and you're diagnosed at 2, you could open it now. You're 46 now, but you're diagnosed with at 28, then you have to wait till 2026.
Well, I'm past 46, so does that still qualify?
When did your diagnosis occur?
20 years ago.
Okay,
I was diagnosed with several types of mental health.
Okay.
And then some physical over the years now. Yeah, so.
So if you're diagnosed, well, let's just say you're 50 now, and it was 20 years ago, that would make you 30, then you're going to have to wait till 2026 because you're past the age of 26.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. You know what? Yeah, that would have been 30. That would have been 36 when this happened. Okay. But I still have hope now. I mean,
yeah. You've only got 18 months, so you're good.
Oh, praise the Lord. You have no idea. You have no idea. I'm going to celebrate really hard on that particular occasion. You have no idea how you just helped relieve a lot of future stress. Because
awesome.
Now, one more quick thing. Now, when I get into retirement age, I don't know. What does that happen? Because I'm not looking to work full time because I just can't. But they're telling me I need to put in 5 extra years full time to, I guess, qualify for that. And I don't know, but I don't see it happening. Not in no 5 years. So
I'm not the retirement expert.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
but can we keep CalABLE for life once it's opened?
Yeah, you can have it until you are no longer here.
Oh, wow.
And then what happens, it would go into your state and then it would be divided up.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Excellent questions. Linda B, we're gonna welcome you to unmute yourself, and then following Linda, we're gonna go to some of our questions that we have in our emails.
Thank you very much. Thanks for being here. And I've got a question. I'm afraid I already know the answer, but I have a hereditary eye disease, but it wasn't diagnosed until I was in my early 50s, and I'm assuming even though I've had it my entire life because it's hereditary, because my diagnosis wasn't till my 50s, I'm not eligible. Is that right?
But you've had it, so I mean, really that one, you would really need to talk to your doctor because it would be something that your physician, if your physician would give you a letter saying that this is, I mean, this was bound to happen, let's say. I mean, you were basically born with it. It was a hereditary, it didn't become a disability till later in life. That would really have to be the conversation between you and your doctor if he would sign off on that. And if he would sign off on that, then you could open a CalABLE account. But when you are doing that self-certification, it really is you know, that's the conversation you need to have with your doctor. Again, CalABLE is not going to look at that doctor's note. We don't determine whether you're eligible or not. Federal statute is the one that makes that, you know, sets the laws of who's eligible. And that's why I mentioned if you have a letter, and that is part of the federal statute, that if you have a letter from a physician that will sign off on that. And on the CalABLE website, we do have like a sample form that you could take to your physician. If he signs off on that, then, you know, it's up to him to make that determination. We can't say yes or no. It's really, especially when you're self-certifying, it's up to the conversation you get with your doctor. If it was hereditary, yeah.
So just so I'm clear, I would have him sign off on it, and then I would send that to CalABLE for them to approve after he had signed off on it.
We don't have to approve it. You just need to have the letter. And why the letter is important is if your CalABLE account was reviewed, it's not going to be reviewed by CalABLE. If it was reviewed by someone at the Internal Revenue Service, if they said, hey, I want to look at your CalABLE account, and if you did self-certification, they're going to ask you for that letter.
Okay.
So if you have the letter, then you're fine. CalABLE is not, again, isn't going to say yes, you can, or no, you can't. It's really, if you have that letter from your physician that says, you know, said your disability occurred when it did, that's the most important part.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Excellent. Thank you for your questions here. So we're going to go one to a question in our email list right here, and we could probably welcome maybe 2 more questions after this. Is it possible to merge or transfer funds from a 401k account into a CalABLE account for savings and or investments?
So what you would have to do if you had a 401k account is you would basically need to liquefy that account and then put that into your CalABLE account. If you had a 529 college savings account, you could do a rollover of those funds into a CalABLE account and you would not have any additional penalties. 401ks are a little tricky depending on your age. You may or may not incur penalties. So that again, you would have to make that decision. If you're old enough to do it and you wouldn't have any penalties, yeah, you could then liquefy it. But a lot of times 401ks have, you know, age limits that if you withdraw before a certain age, you would incur a penalty. So that's just something you would have to make that financial decision on your own of how it would best, serve you.
Excellent. Luz, I see that you have another question, but you also have one in the chat here. Do you want to ask, is there a different question, or you want me to read that one off?
That's the question I had about.
Okay, great. So these, I'll read it off, okay? These accounts are tax advantage, so both the principal and the growth are not taxed as income. Is that correct?
That's correct. So as these accounts grow over time, they do not incur any taxes. And I will also mention that if you are pulling money out of your CalABLE account for any expense that helps to improve your health, independence, or quality of life, you're not going to pay any taxes when you withdraw your money. So they work both ways. So like I mentioned on the 401k, if you were to withdraw those funds, early, you're going to pay some additional taxes. But if you're withdrawing funds to pay for something that is, eligible, you're not going to pay any penalties or taxes on pulling that money out. So if it's growing, you're not going to pay any additional taxes on those. So that's kind of a nice way to make a little money, not have to pay any money, especially, if you're doing it for the long term. So yeah, so that's what's nice about these accounts, that they can grow tax free and you're not going to be paying any extra, money on those.
Excellent. We'll take one more question here this evening, and for those who may have other questions, and is it okay if we connect with one of your staff to get these questions answered at a later time?
Sure.
Excellent.
Sure. Yeah, you can just send it to the calable@treasurer.ca.gov and we will gladly answer any additional questions.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, we have one last question here. If a person who is on SSI and has a representative payee, can the person who has a representative payee still apply for CalABLE account? I believe this was shared.
Yes. Yes, they can work with their representative payee, and they can certainly open the account on their behalf. And if you're working with your representative payee and they don't know about CalABLE, certainly reach out to us through that, our email, the calable@treasurer.ca.gov, and we are more than happy to work with those representative payees and help them get your account set up for you. Yes, we would love to do that.
Excellent, excellent. All right, friends, so we're coming up on that time. I want to thank Anne and your team for bringing this wonderful information to our attention and answering all of our great questions. I'm really hoping that many on this call can benefit from the CalABLE program. As I mentioned before, we will be sending this recording. We'll be sending up these slides and contact information so that you may connect with the CalABLE representatives to answer any further questions that you might have. This particular webinar was brought to you by Hearts for Sight and our grant funders at Ability Central. So we do want to thank our funding team for offering these types of services. This is one of many webinars to come on different support services. So we're thankful to start our series off with CalABLE, and we were blessed to have the deputy director here to answer all of our wonderful questions. So thank you all for your participation. And thank you so much for sharing this information. We will be sending a survey to the group here, to everyone who had registered. We hope that you can fill out the short survey. It's about 4 questions. Shouldn't take more than 5 minutes to fill out, but it would really help us understand what we could be doing better and how the information was received by you. So please do take the time to fill out that survey. If you need help, please reach out to one of our Hearts for Sight staff members. But again, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your questions. And we look forward to seeing you or hearing from you at our next presentation. With that being said, have
Yes.
a great evening, everyone.
Thank you, Joseph. And, we can always come back out in 6 months if you want us. So feel free to always reach out. We love coming back out and talking to people.
That would be fantastic. I'm going to stop the recording here and give me a moment.